Yeah, no, it was one of those things of beauty, really. I mean, Tyler Wright couldn't have done anything wrong last year. It really didn't. I mean, it was a diverse year for her. She had to deal with all of those family issues, but she persevered and put together an amazing season and became a world champion. To be able to watch here at Snapper Rocks, and she knows this lineup very well. As we look at the first wave here of Tyler Wright of this 2017 season, and of course she throws those big turns, but not able to ride through the inside section. Another replay here of Nikki Van Dijk, and I always like to see those very first waves of the season to see really how that confidence is played into the offseason, what they've done to change. As you can see, nice big turn there to finish. And Nikki Van Dijk, she's one to watch. She really is. I mean, she has been maturing each and every season, and how's this wave choice? I mean, this wave went down the line, gave her a ton of opportunity. She connected with the lip, had a combination of major moves, was getting a bit of release, and then on a bigger set wave here. So a nice three-wave exchange between all these competitors. Alyssa on a little bit bigger wave. Of course, she's going to know this. She's very young, so you're going to see a pretty distinct difference in the style and approach. She's a youngster. She's going to have that quickness and ability, but probably not have that power that we see. But there, beautiful turn, and finishes up strong as well. So good exchange for all three surfers.
Really decent exchange. Very impressive, that first turn from Tyler Wright, but just the one move. Nikki Van Dijk, she went absolutely bonkers on her first ride, and she's going to put another score on the board now. Driving down the line here. This is her second ride, an 8.83 on her first wave.
And the reason being is that they move down the bank and they actually grow into a bigger wave.
Alyssa Locke having a look at an insider there. She's not going to generate too many points out of that wave. She had a 5.17 on her previous ride. You can't afford to build house, as yeah. People like to say. You really have to dig in. You have to do high-risk turns. And Nikki Van Dijk's let go of a couple of great moves on this ride.
Well, and look at the length of this ride. I mean, it just kept giving her nice, steep sections, too. And that's that critical section that the judges are looking for. And again, right there, she got that nice, solid canvas. She laid into it, released the fins, and then this thing built up again and able to give her a few more turns at the to finish, finish with that exclamation point. And that is what the judges want to see. She had control, and she kicked out.
I really feel like Nikki Van Dijk's worked hard in the off-season. I think she's always had a great compact style, especially on a little cupped out face like we have here at Snapper Rocks. Even though they're non-elimination heats, you're jumping that second round, as we see the world champ trying to get herself up into a position to qualify for that third round. But
well, I mean, Tyler Wright has been in these situations before in many heats.
Well, let's see if she has the answers. Taking this one on the inside, trying to find some flow. Just not really able to connect with a quality wave.
In order to catch these first waves, because it has that little bow on it. And you need to be across it or else you're not going to make it down the line.
Here goes the wild card. Putting a little bit more into each of these turns, but as a result, just lets go of that last move and goes down.
How to surf a place or your equipment or all sorts of stuff. And if you have a person you spend a lot of your time with.
Yes, Peter. All right, this is Alyssa Locke. And she's had some moments in this heat, let go of some pretty decent turns, but now she has to use her local knowledge to get herself on that wave that's going to offer big opportunities and grow as it lines up down the bank.
It is so difficult being your first championship tour event experience ever to be able to surf in this event. So she's going to take a lot from this. She's going to have a couple of heats here at Snapper Rocks, and you know what? I think that she's going to start getting a little bit more relaxed probably as this heat unfolds, and make some good decisions. As you see Nikki Van Dijk again, just so confident. You can see just how she's attacking the lip. She's going straight up with her board. Always a little bit more difficult because this wave does want to run. This is live action here, Ron.
Tyler Wright with plenty of speed, finds the open face, but quite a few bumps to deal with. Tyler gets out of there in racking up a number of solid wins, and I think it's to do with her breeding ground, Pete. So many great surfers in this area that she can look up to. Obviously, the Snapper Rocks Board Riders Club is the most successful board riders club in Australia.
Let's see how she can handle that extra pressure, being that, again, she was behind the 8-ball very early in this heat.
Here is Tyler. Nice, drawn out full rail carve there, but just getting desperate, trying to really push these turns and rack up some points. Unsuccessful on that occasion.
Best asset as a coach is.
We'll get to that in a moment as we see Tyler trying to dig herself out of trouble here. First turn's decent. Second turn, more of a transition move, but now has some speed to unload here. And she sets those fins free. Great control. And she worked hard on that ride and generated some decent points out of it. We'll wait for the numbers to come through. But with 5 minutes to go, this might help Tyler have a shot at the lead in the dying stages.
On her way back out, you can just see her, and here she is again. Big hack on the open face, coming down the line, looking for more. Up into it again, looking for more on the inside. Nice cutback. Still wanting more, kicking out. She's after it, let me tell you. Look at the face.
Down and give away your position, as you see here this way. You know, you talk about the tight transition, but it really is. It's very convex. So able to do a turn right, you know, in that section, you can't really open up. And that's where it is. You have to do your turn really tight and compact, so it doesn't feel very powerful, and it can be tough when you really like to open up with your turns.
Here goes the wild card, 16-year-old Alyssa Locke from Tweed Heads. She's put up a very decent fight. The heat, she's still in second spot. She's got a 5.13. She's after an 8-point ride as Nikki Van Dijk takes this one. And that was really just to block Tyler, but...
Absolutely, defensive move. You know, you can see it. She didn't really totally want it, but you know Tyler Wright can produce such big scores on pretty average waves.
Well, Nikki, she swung on another insider there, just trying to get rid of that 6.33 and make life just a little bit harder for Tyler. Just over a minute to go. Tyler Wright, last year's world champ, has had moments in this heat, some of the best turns, but she needs to thread a couple together here. She needs to get herself a really big number. She had a look at that one, got caught behind, and Nikki will now assume priority. And Alyssa having a look on the inside too. She might have a little wall to work with here. Just can't get to that first section in time, and it kind of throws her rhythm off for the whole ride. Chasing this one down the line. A very solid performance from the 16-year-old. But she's going to finish in third position here. Tyler Wright, the world champ, had a couple of stumbles throughout the heat. Fought hard in the final stages, but wasn't able to match Nikki Van Dijk. What a way to kick off the year for Nikki.
So good for her. She's going to have some huge confidence going into round 3.